Welcome back to TarHeelIllustrated.com. Today we have got you guys with another daily drop. I am Bryant Balcom once again here with publisher Andrew Jones, and today's subject is UNC football, specifically Kenan Stadium, and we want to take a look at how can we make some improvements and suggestions for Kenan Stadium's game day experience as UNC opens up the season this year against TCU at home. What we'd like to see different and add to Kenan Stadium to make sure you guys have a good fan experience. AJ, I know you have some thoughts, some that I agree with in terms of some suggestions to improve the game day experience.
Now, I had a written piece that we ran, I'm not exactly sure how long ago. So this is the addendum to it, the spoken piece. And we get your thoughts too, so there's a big bonus. I'm going to go one and then you comment. I'll go, and this is really not in any order. So I'll give you one of them, you comment, and I'll go back. We'll do it like that. In no particular order, the first one I would do is that they need to renovate. The concourse is terrible. It's dangerous. Because, we go do interviews. We're coming back. You look down. You're going to trip and fall and kill yourself. So the concourse needs to be refaced. They need to make it look like Football Matters. It doesn't look like Football Matters in that concourse. I know that you want to keep some of the old schoolish stuff there, but you can do that without risking people's lives. Tripping over that stuff, and it's just ugly. Like, you have like 4 different decades of blacktop put on there. You can see it all as you're going. It's like looking at a map of states, and all the states have different colors. It's terrible, and it's unbecoming, and it doesn't look like Football Matters. So they need to. The concourse behind the Blue Zone is beautiful. The concourse under the overhang of the Kenan Football Center, the James Sperling area. Shout out to James Sperling, who's an absolute rock star son and a wonderful man. That part of the concourse is great. The rest of it, the older part, is terrible. It shouldn't cost that much to spruce it up some, maybe widen a little bit. There's way too much mulch and rock on that concourse, especially if you go to the home side, the main entrance side. There's all that rock over there. Get rid of it. It's so ugly. It looks like you're at a high school in Culpeper, Virginia. It's terrible. Fix it. Make it look like Football Matters. Show some pride in the concourse. And that's step number one.
Yeah, I agree. And they can do so much just to clean it up and make it, first off, safer. But when you talk about Football Matters, I think of the small between right underneath the football center. They have stuff hanging for, former first-round picks, Ryan Switzer, I believe you did something for Gia Bernard. But make sure, they should celebrate the players that have come before them when doing that and show that football matters and show that people who have come in the past matter.
Well, that leads into my second one.
Yeah. And, that's more so just of whether it's just making sure you recognize that, you care about football, and that kind of goes on to your first point, but leads into your second point.
When you're in the D-Dome, you're in the D-Dome. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to be an idiot and confuse Carolina football's history with Carolina basketball's history. But Carolina has a football history. There's enough to celebrate. There's enough to make it look like it matters, and it has mattered. There have been some terrible teams, but there have been some really good teams, and there have been some phenomenal players. The greatest defensive player in the history of the sport who changed the game in many respects is a Tar Heel. I know that he had issues outside of football, but so what? This is not when you walk into Kenan Stadium, it's not about citizenship awards. It's about football. Celebrate LT. Get a statue of LT there. What they need to do is to show people that football here has been good. It's not always good, but it's been good. There's been some really good players. So I also have a series about 3-tiered monument park, so to speak, not a monument park like Yankee Stadium, but a monument park. There's something similar at Pittsburgh outside of Peterson Event Center, which is on a spot where the football stadium used to be, where you can go see a lot of the great Pitt players. And Pitt had a wonderful history for a long time. A lot of big-time names there. I can see something bigger, more Carolina-like, where you can maybe have some of the trees still in there, some of the pine trees, and you kind of build around it, and you have little places to sit, and you've got statues. You've got 3 tiers. You've got statues of a handful of guys that are worthy of statues, like LT. Julius Peppers is worthy one. You've got a choo-choo one in front of the football center of him. It's a cool one. How about having him one running, turning the corner over in that area too? Because now most people aren't ever going to see the front of the Kenan Football Center. And then there are a few other guys that would be candidates for that. Then the next tier would be busts. If you've walked into the main office at the Dean Dome, right there is a bust of Dean Smith. Stuff like that for the next tier players. And then have it like upright plaques. If you think of the National Championship Award in basketball or most NCAA championships trophies, they're almost like, if you sat them down, they almost look like plaques, right? Something like that to honor the third tier and have it spread out in a celebration of Carolina. Wake Forest has a statue of Brian Piccolo, I believe. Carolina, statues, busts, plaques. Think about the names. Dre Bly, Don McCauley broke O.J. Simpson's record. Calvin Bryant, famous Amos Lawrence. If I'd have mentioned his name, Bruce Young would have me taken out. You could go on and on and on of guys that are worthy. And we have a series that we're going to run about the ones that are worthy. You have to honor some coaches. I think the coaches are no statue coaches, but I think the coaches should be busts. You would have Mac. You can't dismiss that. You would have Bill Dooley, old trench fighter. I think you would have Dick Crum. I think he won for a while after Dooley was gone in the most important stretch of bowl wins. So there's others. You can go back, Art Weiner, play with Choo Choo. You can go way, but there's so many guys in the history of this program that are worthy of at least being on a plaque. And I think you should have them there and celebrate it and tell people, yeah, we've been pretty good here. And we have a lot of pride in what we've done and a lot of pride in what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think that tier system, you hit the nail on the head with that, is recognize and celebrate those who have come in UNC's past and who have worn a UNC uniform and been very good, elite, the best of the best, however it may be. And recognize and make sure, again, you show that football matters and that you care about those who have been part of the football program in the past. I think it comes as simple as you can rename the concourse after someone when they hopefully redo it, wink, wink. Or a section of the stadium, like you can rename the student section after a former player. There's so many easy things.
And just have it sponsored, make money.
Yeah, so many easy things you can do to recognize. Hey, I know in the Blues only have the last names of some former players, but there's some things they can do to recognize those that have come in the past. And I think you hit the nail on the head with that one.
You got to have it so everybody in the stadium can go there and see it, or it's must see. Mm-hmm. So if you don't spread them around. Like Notre Dame's football stadium, again, they don't have the history of that. But you can still say, look, we matter too. Yep. Each entrance is named after one of the great legendary coaches, and there's a statue of the coach there. So it's spread around. So at Notre Dame, when you go to a football game there, you need to walk around and look at each entrance. At Carolina, I think you have it one place, and it's a little spread out. It feeds into a better concourse, and you just make it an experience. And say, you know what? Like I just said, I'm going to repeat it again. Hey, Carolina, football's been good enough. You've had a lot of good players. And, okay, so maybe you're building it up more than it really has been. So what? What's wrong with that? Flex some. There's been enough. There's no – who knows about LT when they're in the stadium? If you're a TCU fan, you come this year, unless you know and you've seen stuff, you won't know it there. No
indication.
It's absurd. Look – get off your horse about what happened to him later. Everybody's got faults. This is about football. And he should be there. A lot of others too.
Yeah, I agree with your first 2 points. And I know we mentioned probably the three biggest. Well, what else would you suggest?
I got a biggie.
They do.
I got a biggie. And there's really four. But I have a feeling I'm going to let you take the fourth one. And I've harped on that before, so I'll let you harp on it this time. I'm going to go video board and sound system. The video board was cute when it happened, nice when it happened. It's kind of cute now. It's not very big anymore. It's not very clear. They need to go. I looked it up. You could, let's say they spend they spend around 12 million, 8 to 12 million on a great video board, and they need them on both sides. Mm-hmm. Need great video boards to enhance the experience and do a lot more with the video board and go from there. There's a lot of wonderful video boards out there. I think Oregon has the biggest one now. and Oregon may have spent like $18 million on theirs. It's in a little bit more open end of Autzen Stadium. You don't have to spend $18 million each on two, but you could spend $12 million each on two or $10 million each on two and do a lot more than what they have. Again, football matters. When you go to a stadium and it looks like there's pride and you see stuff that they're celebrating, even if you don't know the name, and then you see this amazing video board and the experience, they're trying to make the experience wonderful for everybody there because they know a lot of people are going to show up and they want them to show up again. That to me is part of what Carolina football has been missing for a long time. Disregard with the problems on the field. Mm-hmm. There's a care thing. There's a care factor that has been missing. Just spruce it up, man. At the very minimum, spend a couple million and just spruce it up, level it out, spruce it up, do whatever. And they need to do that. So the video board would be the third thing. Has to be loud, has to have great graphics. It could be something that during timeouts, it pops up 3 or 4 other games that are playing during the timeouts. Hey, let's look around the country. Brought to you by Food Lion. And Food Lion's shelling out cash for it. You talked about they get spots in that little memorial area. Here are the busts brought to you by, I would actually space them out, like statue bust, plaque, statue bust, plaque, something like that. But you could sponsor that little cove. You could sponsor other little things around there, make more money. It's about making cash. If you want to catch up the SEC, raise funds and get a big time video board and hell, get a Food Line. They get them to buy it for you and put a friggin' Food Line sign on there. You know, the Carolina Tar Heels, Chris Smith Field brought to you by Food Line, whatever. Look, the rules have changed. What people accept now is different than they would have accepted several years ago. NIL and portal say hello. People have embraced that. They're going to embrace anything and they'll be fine with it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And you mentioned you don't have to go out and spend $18 million on it, but that's one of the bigger things I think that would enhance the game day experience for everyone. I mean, some people are too young or probably are just don't want to pay attention to maybe some of the past things, but the speakers or the video board, like there's so many cool things they could do with that. Like you mentioned, showing things around the league. They could make a nice one and have more videos that just kind of touch on UNC's past or just something like that is actually they spend good money on and make a good product out of it. I think it could be really beneficial for UNC.
Make people think they're in a theater. They're in a football theater. Why not?
And I guarantee nobody's going to come. Okay, no, not nobody. Most people will not complain about that. And if you're making the game day experience better, people are going to be happy and they're going to want to come back and they're going to just kind of have a much better time when they watch UNC football. I think it's pretty easy way to sum that up.
So you want to add something?
Yeah, you brought to my attention about the size of UNC's band and how it was on the smaller side, and we also can't really hear it much in the press box, if at all. But expand the band, have them more involved in the game day experience, because they are part of the game day experience. And for whichever schools visiting UNC, they're usually stuck up in the top right corner, usually in the blistering sun, and they are incredibly loud, and their presence is felt even if they are way up there in the clouds of Kenan Stadium.
And they're like 30, 40 people.
Yep.
50 people, and you can hear them, and you can't hear Carolina's band.
I can remember specifically when Florida A&M visited, was incredibly excited to see their band. I know they're an incredibly historic band, so it's a little different, but make the band bigger and part of the game day experience. They can bring people may not agree with this, but they can bring a lot of energy to football games, especially during halftime. They can either bring energy or sustain the energy that's already there. And they can play some good music while you're at it. People are like, the band can be a really important part of the game day experience, not just during the game, but even before the game. When it comes to music, whether it's in the stadium or outside the stadium, or in various tailgate lots, specifically at the Bell Tower, but have the band more involved in the game day experience, and I guarantee it'll be a even livelier atmosphere, and people will enjoy it.
All right, my fuse is lit. Yeah, bigger, more big instruments, brass instruments. Have a big pom-pom squad in the stands. You go look at SEC games, and right in front of the band, these big pom-pom squads have that. And don't play music you play at basketball games. I don't think they should do jump around before a football game. That's basketball.
It'll never be associated with UNC football.
It's like, come on, people, have some creativity. Come up with your own thing for football.
Yep.
Come up with your own thing for football. Have different music that you play. You don't have to play Aha by Take On Me at a football game. That's a no-no. Also, the entry video, I'm going to go back to this is sort of music and everything related. The entry video for Carolina basketball is always superb. It's always the best I see anywhere I go in the country every year. For football, it's always one of the worst. They put out a video back in April, late March, April, that gave me goosebumps. It was great.
The mini movie, I believe.
They need that kind of production and creativity and hitting on that history again. You could find an image of Belichick coaching a rookie Lawrence Taylor in minicamp. Boy, that would be great, huh? And pull that out and shove it in people's face and say, hey, Mike Voigt carried him off the field. There's Don McCauley. Here's Ken Willard, number 2. They have like 5 or 6 number 2 picks in the draft. They don't ever have a number 1 pick. People that go there won't know. Pump that stuff out during the game, during breaks and stuff every once in a while. Hey, here's a Carolina moment you may not have known. Brought to you by Subway. And they go back and talk about the 64 team or 63 team that won the Gator Bowl, the one really good team they had during the 60s. And Kellen Willard was a star, and he was the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. Stuff like that. They got to do more of that stuff.
I think it's I don't want to say it's solely UNC's responsibility, but it partially is to educate the fans, who is particularly the younger ones, on who came UNC's past, who came before them, the good teams, the good players. Like, make them feel a connection, a strong connection to UNC, even if it was 40, 50 years ago when they may not be alive or they were too young to remember. Like, remind them of what came before them and what makes UNC football what it is, and up until present day. And one other one that I think is more of, it's not along the lines of the experience, as in it adds some like a video board or enhancing the band, but I want them to bring back the hedges. That is my vote. It is not necessarily the game day experience, but as a viewing experience, something fans may associate with UNC football and may enjoy. So not exactly in the same realm of what we're talking about, but I'll bring back the hedges and also get the student section more involved. Have something that they can do to interact. Somewhat speaking from experience, there are not many ways that they've gotten involved, because there could be an important part of making that a really good environment. But there's not many reasons or enticing things that they like for them at the football games. So do something to get the student section involved. It could be the pom-poms. I know they've done towels in the past. It could be a new chant, do something. Get something that could get the student section involved. That will make it just an even better, louder atmosphere for fans inside Kenan Stadium.
The Belichick bullies.
Hey, you see how, like, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the different groups for based off of each players. It'd be, I can't think of anything specific on the top of my head, but they have little something like Belichick's bullies and you insert player name here, and they have all kind of cool things. Something like that would be, people would love that.
Of course, they don't know who the players are right now because they're all.
It is hard, in this age. It's hard to remember.
2 players from last year's roster are not on the program anymore. I think those are great. I think those are great ideas. There's a lot of stuff they need to do. The hedges, I'm told, will never come back, because now they've got artificial turf around the grass. I wish they bring back the hedges, or just have a special area for Ramses. Mm-hmm. Have Ramses with a marked off area and some stuff Ramses can eat. I asked Mac a few years ago when he took us out. They took us out and gave us a tour before his first game in part 2, and we got to see the field, but the artificial turfs had always been grass before. And I was talking to him about the hedges, and he said, "No, hedges aren't coming back." I said, "Well, what is Ramses going to eat? He's got to eat, man. Dude's out there in the heat. He's got to eat. They should have a little Ramses pen out there." And what you do is, people want to know why they have a ram. You have an image of the battering ram. In 1924, I guess it was 22, 24, that era, you have that there. And also, they have the 22 on the field in light blue, like with a light blue hash mark. I would like to see a small 22 there as well. Just a small 22 on the field for Choo Choo. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think we have some really good.
We got a lot of good stuff. We said 12 minutes, 15 minutes on this one. We've probably gone 9 hours and 48 minutes. That was just me talking. 9 hours and 48 minutes for me, 2 minutes for you.
And I know we experience a lot of this up in the press box. There are fans out there who live it and breathe it, whether it's in the upper levels or the 100 level section. Let us know what you think they should do to improve the game day experience at Kenan Stadium, because you guys are there week in and week out experiencing it. Let us know what we forget, what we get right, and what would you do if you had a chance to make some upgrades and make the Kenan Stadium game day experience better.
Someone's going to say free beer. The Gary Williams story. I'll tell the Gary Williams story some other time.
But not one that's real.
I was thinking that when you said the students, because Gary Williams used to buy American University when he was head coach there. He would buy beer to put, because AU didn't have an arena. They played American Universities in Northwest DC, way up Wisconsin Avenue. And they used to play their games in Fort Myer. And it was like 30-minute drive through DC traffic and stuff. So they used to have the shuttle buses that would take students to the game. So Gary would buy beer, put them on the shuttle buses for the students. So they'd have free beer to entice them to go to the games. True story, Gary Williams told. It's one of the funniest damn things I've ever heard.
I unfortunately don't think that is an option for Kenan Stadium, but let us know.
Likes buying pizzas. What goes great with pizza for college kids? Pizza and beer.
That is a good point. I do agree with that.
Belichick's beer zone.
I mean,
all college students over 21 and older get free beer.
You heard it first here at THI. Royalties to AJ if any of this comes to fruition.
Don't tease me with the royalty stuff, man.
Well,
DirecTV called today and they say my payment's late. I don't want royalties are never coming to me.
Let us know what you think, what we got right, what we got wrong, what you would add to the game day experience at Kenan Stadium. We'd love to hear from you guys. And do not forget to like and subscribe. We want to hear from you guys, and we're happy to hear your feedback. But for now, I know we've gone over time. I'm Bryant, and he's AJ, and we'll see you guys next time at Tar Heel Illustrated.